Welcome to Extremely Valid Points.
We're three business owners and friends who enjoy talking about business, marketing, and creativity.
Along the way, we just might happen to make some extremely valid points.
So we'd love it if you would join us in today's conversation. Hi, welcome to episode 12 of Extremely Valid Points. We are starting a 1 of 4-part series on marketing for customer retention. And so we're going to talk about different strategies for customer retention. So let's dive into that. But first, just want to introduce ourselves. I'm Jenny Sala.
And I'm Nathan Sala.
And I'm Dave Wilkins.
Thanks again for joining us. So the reason why we decided to do this particular topic is Nathan and I have been particularly inspired lately by customer retention. We were talking to one of our clients who has this ongoing problem of attrition when it comes to, they were saying last year they worked really, really hard and they got 250 new clients. However, they lost 225. So this can be a really big deal for a lot of customers, a lot of businesses. And we found some really interesting statistics that were on Harvard Business Review of a recent study that was done. So the study showed that it's 5 to 25 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current customer.
So you're saying that the cost to get a new customer is 5 times more or 25 times more, according to Harvard Business Review.
Yes.
More expensive than just selling something to a customer you already have.
Yeah, or the amount of money that is required to just keep one customer happy. If you compare that to the amount of money it takes to get a new customer versus keep a current customer.
So, and just to clarify, when you're talking about the attrition rate and when you're talking about retention, you're not dealing with like a one-off purchase or a one-off type of customer. These are customers who buy maybe say like a monthly subscription, or they pay for something on an ongoing basis, like monthly they pay, sort of like Netflix, or, where you're paying your 8, 9, 12, 17, whatever they're going to keep raising their prices. So $25.99 a month for Netflix.
Sure. In general, attrition is usually counts that way when you're looking at like an ongoing customer or client. But it can also, if you're a person who sells products or services, once you've obtained a customer, made them happy, they've bought one thing from you, it's still a lot easier to market it to that person than it is to go get another brand new customer. So if they've already bought from you once, then you have, I believe the statistics are like a 60% chance that person will buy from you again, and they're going to spend more money than somebody just off the street.
Wow.
So, and all of these statistics are in the Harvard Business Review. We can link to those in our show notes. There's one more statistic I do want to share with you regarding why we're talking about this, why we care about customer retention. And that is that if you can increase your customer retention rates by just 5%, you can increase your profits by somewhere between 25 to 95%.
Wow. Whoa.
So it's a big deal. And to me, it's a no-brainer to market to customers that you already have. Keeping them happy will make you more money, and it'll cost you less money to market to them than to market to somebody off the street that has never heard of you.
Yeah, so it's just way more efficient.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why you said we were so excited about this is because when we heard this and discovered this, we started to realize that retention is where it's at. Mm. Customer retention is maybe one of the most important facets of marketing there is.
Right.
Wow.
So then there was another study that was done, and we'll also link to this in the show notes, where they just looked at the most effective marketing tools, the most effective ways to market to customers that are existing, and for cost effectiveness and just engagement. And so we have the top 4, and this is how we're going to split up our episodes. The next 4 episodes, we're going to talk about each way to market to customers. And so the first one is email marketing, which is the highest and most effective way, 56% effective. Content marketing is 37%, And we'll talk about that next week in our part 2. And part 3 will be social media marketing. And then part 4, we're going to talk about referral marketing. So we're going to talk about some different types of emails that you can send. And all of these different types of emails each of them have a different plan and a strategy and a reason for connecting. Ideally, you want to do all of them, a combination of all these different types of emails to engage with existing customers.
Okay, great.
So the first type of email is an add value email. And these, I would say, are the most important types of emails when you're marketing to existing customers. Do you guys have any idea what an add value email is?
Tell us.
What I woke up this morning, I said, what is an add value email? I wish someone would tell me.
I wish.
Okay. Well, the idea is you're adding value to them. You're giving them information that is beneficial to them. So it could be that they've already purchased a product from you and you're sending them an email letting them know about some new benefits to this product. Hey, did you know that you might have bought this product to do this, but it can also do this? That would be an example. It's about educating customers about how they can get the most out of what they've already got from you. So an example of this is we recently bought some ledge lounger chairs for our new pool. We built a Acapulco shelf or a tanning shelf, whatever you want to call it, and then we got these lounge chairs to put in them, and the idea is they're waterproof and they stay in place and you lay on them. Well, I got an email from the company that I purchased it from. I purchased it 4 months ago. Now it's right now when we're filming this, it's kind of the cold weather season. And the title of the email was Protect Your Investment from Cold Weather. And so I instantly opened it, and inside it were some tips on how to keep your chairs from cracking or freezing during cold weather season and what to do and to be aware of that so that your product doesn't break. That would be an add value email. They already know what kind of product I've purchased. I'm probably in some type of bucket list or a drip campaign list of people who have purchased this product. And so anytime they have some information they want to share about that product, it goes to me. So that's like the back end kind of perspective.
Okay,
of
so
an
you're
add value
just
email.
you're writing to somebody you already have a relationship with, sending them an email and saying, hey, did you know, you can also get more value out of what you've already bought by doing this and this and that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think you could, if you have sort of a short-sighted perspective, you could think, well, they've already bought the product. I don't need to convince them of anything any longer, right? They already spent the money on that product, and why should I tell them more things about it? But really, what you're saying is you're developing that relationship so that one, you're preempting a return because someone could send that back to you and say, "Hey, this cracked in the cold weather. I didn't know it was going to happen." You said you're giving them something so that they can feel confident in their purchase and make sure that they're not going to be unhappy.
Right.
And then also, if they are happy, they may say, "Hey, I bought 2 of these, but now I want 4."
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't have the money to buy 4 originally, and now that they've gone through a season and then they're still doing good, or I'm going to recommend this to my friend, right? All of those things by adding value to the purchase that they've already made. Maybe you're not, you've already made that profit, but you have a potential profit out there for additional customers or additional purchases.
Yeah. Another aspect of why this email was great for me is, okay, I'm not really thinking about my pool in the wintertime. But they sent me an email. They got me thinking about the product. They got me thinking about my pool. And at the bottom of that email are some more things I might be interested in purchasing from them.
Yeah.
And did I click on 1 or 2 of the items? Maybe I did. So again, it's really just a way to stay engaged and trying to think about how you can communicate and talk to your customers in a way that is relevant to them, that's not tone deaf, but also, you can you can drop the opportunity for them to go back to your website and or learn more about other things that you sell. There's a lot of accessories that can go with these lounge chairs that, maybe I want to get a pillow to put on it or a side table to go with it.
Right.
And so that's another reason why it makes a lot of sense to send things like this.
It's good.
Very good.
All right, so let's talk about the next kind of email. And this one is really piggybacking off of this last one, and it's a personalized upsell. Again, so we're kind of assuming that you already know a lot about your customers, that you have a CRM, that you can kind of create these lists, that you know what things they've purchased from you and what things maybe they haven't yet, that might be, like I said, an upsell to something they've already purchased, or an add to something they've already purchased. So an example of this is if you liked this product, you purchased this one. If you like this type of product, you might also like this one. And again, this is really very personalized. We see Amazon do this a lot, maybe not in emails, but you'll see it in ads on social media. You'll see it when you log into the website. They kind of have an idea of things that you like to buy and things that you might be interested in. And so they show you those types of things based on your buying history.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So in this email type compared to the last email type, you're not necessarily trying to sell something. Mm-hmm. You're just giving them information and trying to increase their value, not asking them to send you any payments for anything, right?
Right.
And so this type of the upsell, you're definitely trying to sell something, right?
Yes, you are. And in this relationship that you have with your clients, it's understood that this is a business relationship and that they buy things from you. But it's also the idea and the reason why you want to send a variety of emails like this is, you don't want it to be all one-sided. And they like to open emails from you because sometimes they get things out of it and sometimes they know you're going to ask them to buy something. And that doesn't, they're not going to feel pressure to buy anything because it's an email and they can delete it or unsubscribe if they want. But that is really the idea, is to send a variety of emails so to keep people opening them and so that it's not this mundane thing like, oh, here's another, bunch of stuff they want to sell me.
So how do you do this well? Because on one hand, you could say, okay, it's personalized email, but you're not suggesting that you're looking at each one of your customers and typing it out individually yourself and trying to guess what they might like, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you effectively do this if you've got a large customer base?
Sure. So depending on your CRM, let's kind of switch the idea rather from from products to services. We have a client who is a pest control company, and they sell ongoing service retainer type services where they'll come out on a regular basis and take care of your rodent problem or whatever type of pest you're dealing with. And so they can pull a list of all our clients who are maybe they're on a quarterly service. Well, let's see if, during the summer we can bump them up to a monthly service. So the idea would be you can pull up all of these clients who might be a good upsell and say and make a special offer. To our existing clients that we appreciate, to show our appreciation for your loyalty this summer, upgrade to a monthly service and get 10, 15% off, that type of thing.
So you want to make sure you've kind of categorized your clients or your customers in meaningful ways so that you can kind of track their trends that they have, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if in the whole conversation about retention, if I'm on the fence and I'm thinking about maybe canceling my service because, it's not rodent season anymore. It's now, and I don't really need to pay for this if this is not my issue. And then I get the email saying, oh, here's an offer for you that is, something I might potentially need, and it's discounted, and this is just what I need right in time, so basically I'm rather than canceling my service, I'm
upping
it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Another great example I just thought of is Audible. So, Audible automatically charges your card once a month for a credit. And, if you don't buy a book, you still have a credit. And so, often we'll have 3 or 4 credits on our account. And sometimes you might say, well, I don't really need these credits. I'm not using them. Why am I paying for these? But one of the things they do, a personalized upsell email they'll send you, is they'll pay attention to the books you listened to or liked. We noticed you listened to this book and you liked it. I don't know how they know if you liked it, but maybe because you listen to the whole thing and don't stop halfway through.
There you go.
We noticed you like this book. If you like this book, here's some more like it. And then they list about 5 different audiobooks that you could download that are, in the similar subject matter. So that's another example of a personalized upsell that would keep you from canceling a service.
Yeah.
And keep you happy as a customer. So a third type is this one I think we all know and are familiar with, and that's a promotional or sales email. So, when you sign up, buy something online, you get added to their email list. Whenever there's a sale, they're going to let you know about it. There was a study recently about subject lines and what kind of emails get the most opens. Anytime you have the word free in a subject line, it's going to get the most opens. I would just say make sure you actually have something for free before you put that in there. Make sure that you're being honest. But any type of promotional or sales email is great, bringing people to action, getting them on your website, having a sense of urgency. This is a limited time deal. You got to act now before it's gone, that type of thing.
So how do you do this type of email well? How do you execute in a way that gets good results?
I would say make like I said, creating a sense of urgency is good for this type of email. Laying out the fine print and making sure that you're communicating and not being misleading in any way about what your sale or promotion is. I think that is the most frustrating thing to people when they think they're going to get something and then they get to check out and that coupon code doesn't work because of the fine print or something like that. And that can really create, a sense of disloyalty towards your brand. It'll burn you. People don't like that. They don't want to be misled. So just whenever your promotional sale pitch is, just be honest about it and make sure all the fine print is known.
Do you have an example of this? I mean, this is probably one of the most common things that we're all familiar with, but do you have an example of like a really powerful, structured sales or promotional email?
Well, going back to the whole free thing, a free item with purchase is a really great one to offer. Purchase this many dollars, get this free item. I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas?
So we've used this really effectively for a retail client that we have. They own a gift shop, and so for this one, it's anytime there's a sale, they send out an e-blast that says, hey, right now, Christmas decorations are 50% off or whatever the promotion is. And so for this one to make it work, what we did was have to create this content calendar, a 12-month calendar that we can reuse year after year. But it's basically like, in the gift store business, it's very seasonal. Mm-hmm. In October and November, you're buying this types of gifts, but in February, you're maybe buying these types of gifts.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah, so
Easter,
exactly.
birthdays, weddings, babies.
Right.
And that just probably helps kind of that sense of urgency too, right? Because it's seasonal, you get it while it lasts.
Exactly.
All those kinds of things, right? You want to tap
Yes.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to bring, everybody's going to buy a gift for their lover on Valentine's Day, right?
They better.
And so as a retail business owner, you want to make sure they buy from your store. And so what you want to do is make sure that you give them a good incentive to come in, and then that's how marketing works.
Well, and in that instance, a subject line like Valentine's Day is just 3 days away. What have you gotten your lover?
You didn't forget, did you?
Your mother will call you in 5, 4. Just kidding.
But another example of this would be, if you offer a product or service rather than, if you offer a service rather than a product, having a limited time discount. Let's say you're an air conditioning company. Well, you don't need to run any ads or any promotions during the summer because we all know that that's when everybody's AC breaks down and that's when everybody cares that their AC is broken. But maybe early spring, you say, don't get stuck with a broken AC this summer. Schedule a maintenance appointment with us this week and get 20% off our regular rate. So keeping sales going when things are, if you have a seasonal business, keeping sales going when it's not the normal time to buy is a great way to keep the cash flow going, create urgency, add some value to your customers by giving them a discount.
Great.
All right. So the next type of email that we want to talk about is personalized emails of appreciation. And again, this type of email, when done well, you really should not have any offers in there. Don't put any links to your website. Don't make this about them buying anything. If you really are truly trying to appreciate a client or a customer, send them one that means it. Like, examples of this could be a happy birthday email. I got a happy anniversary email from our alarm company. They remembered that it had been a year since we'd signed up for our alarm. That's an example. Or just saying, hey, we appreciate you. Thanks for being our customer. Something like that. That is really just putting the focus on them and letting them know you're thinking about them and that you matter to them. I would say one way that you could really screw this up is if you're a large company and you pretend like you're small, or if you pretend like you really know that person when you don't. And you sometimes actually using personalized names in emails can be a turnoff if you're a large company or you don't have an established relationship, and you're doing the mail merge where you're just saying, "Hi, Dave, been thinking about you," and you open that up and you're like, they haven't been thinking about me. They don't know me from Adam. And, that's a turnoff and you don't like that, right? So the trick with an appreciation email is respecting how well you know your client and not overdoing it.
Yeah, because I think some level it could be creepy at some point, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we saw that you were looking at this online, and then we now want to make this suggestion to you. Insert name here. I mean, Jenny.
I love how you said that in like a low, creepy voice.
It's my creepy marketing voice.
Creepy marketing stalker.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, make sure it's based on a real relationship and on an appropriate level. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so another type of email that you can send to your customers is a product update email. This works really great if you have like a software of some type or a service that you continually improve. So every time you make the product better than it was before, you're letting people know, hey, here's a new thing that you probably didn't know about this product or service that you're buying. And now we are making it even better for you. We've listened to you. We understand what you like and what you don't. And, we're making this better for you.
Yeah. And I get those a lot too, because just, dealing with a lot of software and that kind of thing. I think, sometimes it can be annoying in the sense that like, I got to update this now. And is it going to work with my system? All those things. But then if they've done it really well, like they're really touting the new features, maybe that the software is. And I could be really excited. Like, oh, wow, that's going to be so great. That's going to help me out. I want to update right now. And it just also makes me solidifies me if they're continually improving and adding features to the product. I definitely want to keep subscribing or buy that next version or whatever it is. So yeah, that's definitely important to feel like, oh, I've invested this money in this product, but it just keeps getting better.
Yep. So another type of great email that you can send customers is a request for feedback. And this is, asking people how they're doing. There is a good way and a not so good way to do this. I have filled out this type of survey before and been completely dissatisfied and had zero follow-up, which made me even angrier because, I was already mad that things didn't work out the way that they should have, according to, customer service and getting what I paid for. And then to complain about it and not have any response from the company made me feel even more annoyed. Like it was a moot point, like they didn't even care and they weren't even listening. So to do this well, you really want to care about the feedback and have a plan and a strategy in place that if you get negative feedback, if you get the 1 star instead of the 5 stars, that you follow it up with an immediate email. Maybe it is a drip campaign, and you say, we're so sorry about this experience. We're going to contact you and figure out how we can make this right. Or we're going to really review this and make sure that we make some changes. Just having some kind of empathy and being prepared that if you get negative feedback, you have a thing in place to make it right. And this type of email can be really great when it comes to customer retention, because if you screw up, you're asking for a second chance and you're getting a second chance to make it right. If you don't make it right, then you've blown it even more. Another great thing that you can do when people fill out these feedback requests and you get good feedback is follow it up with, we're so glad you're happy with our service. Hey, do you have some friends you can tell about our company? Or would you be willing to write a review on Google or Yelp or Facebook and give them an opportunity to share their experience. When a customer is really happy and you can get them to that place where they become an ambassador for you, that's even better than, they're talking about you for you. That's free advertising. And word of mouth advertising, we all know, is way more powerful than a commercial you could put on TV or an ad you can run on Google.
Yeah, I think that's, obviously it's very powerful for us when we're getting that feedback. So we know how we're really doing, especially if it's, real honest feedback. So we can make adjustments where we're, not performing well. And so we can capitalize on the things that we are.
Exactly.
But, I'm thinking about just even as a customer, you get a lot of these requests for feedback. Some of it's, hey, take our survey. And some of it is, we just would hope that you would do this. Some of it would be like, hey, if you do this, we'll give you a free this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm a sucker for that. But I always appreciate when they say like, it'll take about 5 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's in store for you. But I think also even on just ones where we just want your review or we want your feedback on this particular thing, if I know that it's a fairly simple thing for me to do, and if I feel already invested in the company, like there's one, you might be motivated by, hey, this did not go well, and you need to know about this and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But then hopefully you've got areas too where you're like, hey, we think we're getting this right. Is that true? And you want to get that positive feedback, right? Too, or maybe it's a little mixture of both. So really trying to inspire that relationship by not putting too big of a burden on your customers, right? We're not just dumping, fix all of our problems for us. Just a small ask of, can make sure that we're on the right track, right?
It's good. Yeah. And we talked about using consumer feedback to strengthen your brand position in episode 1. That's a great one if you're interested in learning more about this to go back and check out. But definitely there's a lot of things that you can do with this type of email for customer retention, but also to really improve your branding and improve your customer experience. All right. So that leads me to the last email we're going to talk about this week, and that is referral requests. I mentioned, if you get a great review from a customer, following up and asking them for a referral is a really great next step that you can take. But it's not the only way that you can ask for a referral. A lot of companies nowadays are offering incentives and rewards for bringing your friends in. I see this a lot with subscription services like Fabletics that we've talked about in the past, or a FabFitFun box. Offer your friends, we're going to give your friends something free, and we're going to give you something free if you invite them to join this service or to try it out.
Right.
They've done that also with these meal boxes where they send out, meal kits. And if you're a customer, you can invite one of your friends to join. You're already probably talking about that with your friends. Hey, I tried out this new meal service. Oh, really? What did you think of it? Because that's something new and interesting, and maybe they want to know your experience and should they try it.
Right.
Have you guys ever gotten any good referral request emails that you can think of? What kinds would you click on or actually refer people to?
Yeah, I've seen some where if, I don't really do them anymore because, of the golden rule, I don't want anybody to give my name out to some marketing company because they get something for free. But there's this one company way back, 10 years ago. It was like a voice over internet phone. And I was actually so impressed by the product. I was like, all my friends need to know about this. So
Right.
I'm going to, send some emails out to some people I know who have asked me about my phone before and are interested. And that way they'll know the offer was I'll get some months free or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And then they'll get some months free too. So it's like a win-win-win for everybody. Which I think it works extremely well if for those people that are really interested in your brand.
Mm-hmm.
They really, really love your product.
Right. And that's I think one of the reasons why I mentioned this one last, because, the ultimate goal is with customer retention is not just having a customer that continually purchases from you, but getting them to that place where they are a champion for your brand, where they are a walking sales board, where, if they hear of somebody that needs something that you're selling, they'll say, oh, you should talk to this company because they do an amazing job. And, they do all of the sales for you. And so giving people a tool in which, they can do a warm handoff is a great way to do this. And so if you've already been sending all these other emails and they're engaging with them, they're clicking on them, they're buying more items, and you've got a happy customer, then giving them a way to send business to you is a natural next step, because really the customers that love you the most, they're going to be referring people anyway. So why not keep it top of mind for them?
Yeah, I think too, there's all these algorithms out there that kind of determine, oh, this person liked this, they might like that, whatever. But when you're involving other humans, your customers or clients involved, I think the things that are probably I'm most likely to refer are I'm sometimes hesitant or hey, you'll get this much off and they'll get this much off. Sometimes that might backfire in the sense that I don't want to do, hey, I'm going to spam you so that I can get a free something,
Right.
But if there's something that I really believe in, like you were saying, and I've got a discount code or just a free month trial or something like that, and I think of somebody else, I think that they would really like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I want, it's just like that thing that you're excited about and you want to share. And if,
Exactly.
hey, I'm going to give you, I'm not getting a kickback here. I'm just going to share this with you. And as I mentioned, I think, starting back in the first episode, I said I'm going to probably talk about Masterclass a lot, but that's one of the products I really enjoy and I like to use. And they've given me some free things to give to other people, and so I really like to do that because I sit there and I think, okay, who would probably really enjoy this, and then I'm helping to market for them,
Mm-hmm.
where their class didn't pop up on the Facebook page or whatever it is, but I might know, oh, this person is really, probably going to like this.
Yeah, this last year they had an offer. When you sign up for a year subscription, they will give you a free year subscription for your friend.
Right, exactly.
Like zero strings. You just pick somebody you want to give it to.
Yeah.
And, if that person ends up liking it, I'm sure they're going to renew next year. And that's what they're banking on.
Yep, exactly.
So you've talked about the studies, you've talked about the statistics, and you've pretty much laid out that retention, if you want to grow your company and you're thinking, should I do a marketing plan to get new customers or should I do a customer retention plan? You're saying that your money's better spent if you do a customer retention plan marketing strategy rather than trying to acquire a whole bunch of new customers. It's gonna be cheaper and it's gonna be more effective, and it's really the ultimate growth strategy. Wouldn't you say?
I would say that. And I would say that if you could only pick one, I would pick the customer retention plan.
Okay, so great. What do we do? How do we get started? What do we do? How do we do this?
How do we do this? Well, you need to understand your customer. I think it's really, there's a book called The Pumpkin Plan that anybody should check out if you run a business. The idea is, your top 80% of your business comes from your top 20% of your clients, the 80-20 rule. Who are your top clients? Talk to them, find out why they like you, look at what they're buying from you, ask them what problems they have, ask them how you help them solve problems, find out how you can help them to continue to solve problems. The best clients that you have are the one you want more of those. So figure out why they work with you, what they like about you, and engage with them. I would say starting out, one-to-one, right before you even start sending out emails, figure out what are their pain points and how you can help them, how you can add value, how you can keep them happy. And then, you just got to create a plan. You got to figure out why are you losing customers? If people are canceling your service, what are the reasons? How can you overcome the problems that they're facing or the obstacles that they have when they're calling to cancel? AT&T does this. They offer a low introductory rate, right? When you sign up for their services. When you call to cancel because it's no longer affordable because you're not getting the introductory rate anymore, what do?
They cut your rate.
Yes. They do everything they can to stop you from canceling. They have a plan in place to stop that retention. And so really, you got to explore and figure out and know all of these things. And once you know all these things, then you just start looking for solutions to these problems.
Okay, so if you have been convinced by listening to this podcast that the retention strategy is for you, and you now know that email is the best way to start, and you want to start your own email campaign, and maybe you want to try it yourself, maybe you don't want to, maybe you can't afford to hire an agency to do it for you or something like that. We're going to put some in our show notes. We're going to put some links to some services that we use or tools that we recommend, and some additional features. So check out the show notes for sure if you really want some practical next steps and you're really serious about getting started on this. So this was our first episode in a 4-episode series. What are we going to talk about next week, Jenny?
Next week, we're going to talk about content marketing and content marketing specifically for customer retention.
Great. Looking forward to that. So what inspired you this week?
Well, on the topic of marketing and creating marketing plans, I was reading an article in Forbes, and it's called The 10 Most Common Marketing Mistakes. One of the most common marketing mistakes that small businesses make is not having a marketing plan. And they had this study that showed that when marketers have a written out content marketing strategy, they're twice as likely to see results and for their marketing strategies to be effective. And I think it's really common. We meet a lot of business owners, and what we do, we see people say, I know I need marketing, but I don't really know what to do. And sometimes you throw a little bit of money that way and you throw a little bit of money that way, and you're like, oh, well, that didn't work. And I'm just not going to do anything. But really, things don't work when you don't have a plan and you're not tracking your marketing and making sure that it's effective. And that's really the only way to know is if you have a plan that you're executing and following rigidly and consistently, and then you're tracking the results.
Yeah,
that's good.
Extremely valid point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that'll tie into next week's episode as well for content marketing. So that's great. It will.
Thanks so much, guys, for watching. We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for spending time with us at the Extremely Valid Points podcast. To learn more about this episode, see our show notes at extremelyvalidpoints.com. Be sure and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you download your podcasts. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/extremelyvalid. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at EVP_podcast. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time with some extremely valid points. you.